Hi, it's Edward, back with another video. Please take a moment to click the thumbs up button below and consider subscribing to the channel. Please also share this video with your friends. Thank you for your support. Today, I read several financial news articles. I've included links to the articles in the description below. I encourage you to read the articles to support the authors and news sources. As a private American citizen, I like to report and share my transformative thoughts through commentary regarding small sections of these articles that are of public interest. Today, I read an article on Reuters.com written by Blake Britton titled, Apple Files Appeal After Biden Administration Allows U.S. Ban on Watch Imports. For those of you not following this situation, this has to do with a U.S. International Trade Commission ruling that will prevent Apple from selling any Series 6 or later watches and the Apple Watch Ultras because they violate patents registered to another company called Masimo. This is a pulse oximeter patent which uses light-based technology to read blood oxygen levels. I think this is a really crazy situation. According to the author, Apple on Tuesday appealed a decision to ban imports of its watches based on a complaint from medical monitoring technology company Masimo after President Joe Biden's administration declined to veto a government tribunal. The tech giant also filed an emergency request on Tuesday for the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit to halt the ban. It asked the Federal Circuit to pause the ban at least until the U.S. Customs and Border Protection decides whether redesigned versions of its watches infringe Masimo's patents, and to put the ban on hold while the court considers Apple's request. The Customs Office is due to make its decision on January 12th. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine the logistical nightmare that this has caused for Apple. I wonder if the pre-owned Apple Watch models will become hot commodities because of supply and demand. Not everyone wants an Apple Watch SE, which is still available for purchase. It is certainly possible that pre-owned Apple Watch models could become attractive alternatives to a new Apple Watch SE. Perhaps Apple can work something out with the patent holder. However, the two companies may not be on the best of terms because the author of this article said, and I'll quote, Masimo has accused Apple of hiring away its employees and stealing its pulse oximetry technology and incorporating it into the popular Apple Watch. Regardless of what happens with this patent situation, I have no doubt this is going to cost Apple a lot of money. Instead of incorporating this technology into their watches, I have another idea for how they could potentially make more profits from their watches. They could design these Apple Watches so that you don't need an iPhone to use them. If you buy one of these Apple Watches, you need an iPhone or someone in your family needs an iPhone in order to set one up and use all of its features. There is something called Family Setup that is available, but each person with a watch will need an Apple ID. In my humble opinion, there are probably buyers out there who would like to own one of these watches, but they don't want to own an iPhone. If Apple designed these watches where you could set one up with any phone via an app or by using a computer, they could potentially sell more watches to a wider audience. The Apple Watches have a lot of great features. It is sad that they are limited to iPhone users. Some people believe Apple wants to keep people trapped inside their ecosystem, and perhaps they're right. What do I know? I'm just some guy on YouTube, and I don't want to cast judgment on Apple. I'm sure Apple has some type of good reason for requiring the use of an iPhone to use the Apple Watches. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Apple isn't the only company with a big problem on their hands. I read an article on Yahoo Finance put out by CNN and written by Catherine Thornbeck titled, Elon Musk's X accused of withholding bonuses promised to staff will have to face a court battle. According to the author, a federal judge has ruled that X, formerly Twitter, must face a lawsuit after staff accused the company of failing to pay bonuses promised to them. X stands accused of failing to pay out annual bonuses to staff after its October 2022 acquisition by billionaire Elon Musk, despite repeated assurances from executives in the lead-up to and following the deal that the company would do so, according to a lawsuit filed in June 2023 on behalf of employees. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it saddens me to read about this. I am sure some of these workers traded many hours of their life for money working at X. This is basically what you do when you are an employee at a company. If these employees were in fact entitled to these annual bonuses, I hope they ultimately receive them. I feel bad for these employees who probably had this money already spent in their mind. I have no doubt this disrupted things in their personal lives. It reminds me of the Christmas Vacation movie with Clark Griswold, where he planned to install a pool in his backyard using his Christmas bonus, but instead he got a subscription to the Jelly of the Month Club. What do you think about this situation with X? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. I read an interesting article today on Yahoo Finance put out by Go Banking Rates and written by Andrew Lisa, titled, "I'm a Mechanic. What I drive in 3 cars I steer clear of." The author of this article referenced Jacob Carter, an experienced mechanic with a background in mechanical engineering who specializes in engine maintenance, diagnostics, and repair. Some of you might be wondering what this mechanic owns and drives. The author quoted Jacob Carter as saying, "I currently have a 2015 Toyota Camry in my driveway. I chose this car because it is reliable, fuel efficient, and easy to maintain." This mechanic listed the vehicles that he would avoid, which included the Dodge Dart because it is unreliable, requires frequent repairs, and has a poor safety rating. He also listed the Volkswagen Beetle because it has limited cargo space and it can be difficult to work on due to its compact size. Lastly, he listed the Ford Focus because it has a history of transmission issues which can be costly to repair, and it has a lower safety rating compared to other cars in its class. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I found this information from Jacob Carter to be very interesting. I have a 2004 Toyota Camry with nearly 400,000 miles on it, and it is still going strong. It does burn oil between oil changes, so I do have to add oil. Other than that issue, everything works on the car, and it is still very reliable. I was a little sad to hear the 2025 Toyota Camry will only be offered as a hybrid. It is sad that Toyota is discontinuing the non-hybrid Camry moving forward. Time will tell if this was a good move or not for Toyota. Even though I'd prefer a non-hybrid Camry, I'd still take a Camry over a Dodge Dart, Volkswagen Beetle, or Ford Focus. What do you think of the information shared by the auto mechanic in this article? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Here's some good news that I'll share with you. All 266 passengers and 131 crew members are safe after a rogue wave hit a cruise ship. I read an article on foxbusiness.com written by Aislinn Murphy titled, "Cruise Ship Hit by Rogue Wave During Storm, Loses Ability to Navigate." This was a Norwegian cruise ship sailing in the North Sea. It lost its ability to navigate after it was hit by a rogue wave during a storm. The article didn't mention the size of the rogue wave. Some of these rogue waves can be huge. I am so glad that the passengers and crew are all safe and the ship did not sustain any major damage. This could have been far worse. After I read this article, a couple of thoughts came to mind. The first thought that came to mind is how a rogue wave, which is a freak event, is so similar to a black swan event that could hit financial markets. Both rogue waves and black swan events can come out of nowhere and cause a lot of destruction. There have been a variety of black swan events that have hit financial markets in the past. Black Monday on October 19, 1987 is one example. The 9/11 attacks on the Twin Towers on September 11, 2001 was another example. More recently, the COVID-19 pandemic had severe consequences. The second thought that came to mind after black swan events was the movie called The Poseidon Adventure. The movie was actually made twice. It was originally released in 1972. The remake came out in 2006 and starred Kurt Russell. In this movie, the rogue wave was so large that it caused the ship to flip upside down. The hull of the ship was the only part that was above water. Here's a bit of interesting history for you. In 1498, Columbus documented a rogue wave hitting his ships in the night. In 1943, the Queen Elizabeth cruise ship was hit by rogue waves that were tall enough to break windows that were 91 feet above the water level. A story of a building is equivalent to approximately 11 feet. This means the wave that hit the Queen Elizabeth may have been the same height as an 8-story building. Not all rogue waves occur on the ocean. Many believe the Edmund Fitzgerald was sunk by a rogue wave on Lake Superior in 1975. I'm glad that I've never been on a ship when one of these rogue waves hit. Have you ever been on a ship that encountered extremely rough weather? If so, tell me about it in the comment section below. Were any of you severely impacted by some of the black swan financial events that hit markets in the past? If so, tell me about that in the comment section below as well. Please keep in mind that everything in this video is for entertainment purposes only, and nothing in this video is financial advice or advice of any kind. If you need advice, seek advice from a qualified professional in good standing who puts your interests first and foremost. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. Please also consider sharing this video with your friends. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. Check out some of the great books that I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.